I know this is not popular. Seed oils has nothing to do with keto. If somebody is still consuming Hellmann's mayonnaise, but they're eating only meat, they're still keto.
These next two speakers are great friends of mine. I've known them for, oh my gosh, half a decade, over half a decade, a really long time. Saw each other in passing. Me and Joe took time to engage each other a couple years ago, and we've been great friends. I've loved watching their journey. Most of all, I love watching their passion to help other people be better, know better, and do better. And so without further ado, here is the two crazy ketos!
Okay.
All right. I think
Real
we should start
quick.
off with something funny.
Okay, well, has anybody never seen us speak before?
Oh, I'm so
I'm
excited.
sorry.
Thanks for being
I'm
here.
really sorry. Like, I cannot be held liable for anything that comes out of our mouth, and specifically anything that Rachel does. Okay, so I'm Joe.
I'm Rachel.
We're two crazy ketos, and we want to start this off. Usually we start off with our story. We're going to start off with a story, but it's not our story.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so one night a donkey was sharing his exciting first day of work with the other animals in the barn.
I've never been on public display before, said the donkey, but all the people who lined up early this morning to cheer my inaugural walk through town must have researched my pedigree.
So taking my first, obviously regal-like steps down the street, my admirers threw their coats on the ground to protect my feet, and they waved palm branches to keep me cool.
This was just my first day at work. Imagine how I will dazzle the crowd tomorrow.
So one of the horses in the barn broke the news to him. Those people, they weren't there to see you. They were there to see Jesus.
Because the fact is, you ain't Jesus, friend. You're just the ass that carried him.
So don't panic, okay? Our talk is not about Jesus.
No, it's not.
Okay? Our talk is about keto, but we want you to don't misunderstand us. Keto is not Jesus.
But for some of us, keto has been good news. Raise your hand if you would say, it's good news for me. It's been good news. I'm glad that news reached me.
Okay, so here's the thing. If you're like us, maybe you've struggled with lifelong obesity, mobility issues, brain health, joint health, skin problems, digestive issues, heart health. For us, keto is good news.
And the way news is spread is one jackass at a time, right? So let me show you the ass that brought, it's a nice ass, that brought keto to us.
You promised.
I know, I'm gonna be good. It's actually Danny Vega, okay? Not Dr. Vega. Apparently I have a thing for Vegas. But Danny Vega used to go to our church, and before he moved from the east coast of Florida to the west coast of Florida, he shared that keto had been good news to him.
Yeah. So we believe it's important to share news.
Yeah.
Danny shared it with us, and so now we share that news. Here's some before and after pictures of us. We have no idea what our weights were, but I can tell you this was not our lowest weight.
No, because I'm out in public.
As a matter of fact, I do know in that picture I had already lost over 30 pounds, but more importantly, I had lost like 6 sizes in my pants when I finally took that picture. Okay? So how do we share the good news?
One person at a time. You know, Nurse Cindy talks about it being her sister. Maybe it's a friend. Maybe it's a coworker. It was your mother. It was somebody, one person probably, took time to answer a question to you about this good news that we refer to as keto. And that's what we do.
Now, let's be clear. We are not keto.
No.
We don't want to be the symbol of keto.
No.
We're
just
the
the asses that carry it. We're two asses that carry keto proudly.
And maybe you guys are thinking the same thing. Maybe some of you are thinking, I would be willing to make an ass out of myself to carry the good news and help other people.
There's somebody on your mind that you're thinking, gosh, I wish that this person, fill in the blank that's there, would benefit from hearing this speaker talk, and I would like to share it. I would like to pass this information on to somebody that I love, someone in my realm of influence.
So we've got some great news for you.
Yeah, I mean, this is your day. You're going to be super awesome at this because our talk is actually how to make an ass out of yourself. Right? And we're going to deliver it as only we can, right? Right.
Okay, so little disclaimer for us.
Like you needed this disclaimer.
We are not doctors, nurses, or health professionals.
But we are full-time asses. We are full-time. We're not half-assing this. We're full-time. We're completely committed to this.
And as when you ever get a disclaimer for doctors, they usually put all of your degrees and here's why I, have everything. And here's my credentials. Here's some of our credentials.
Yeah, there you go, right there. I feel like that's making a case for the fact that we're great for this particular role.
We are willing to do anything to spread the good news of keto.
Yeah, we are.
So much so that we were idiots and put ourselves on a reality TV show.
Yeah.
That some of you helped watch last night.
Thanks for being here.
And again, as we said this morning, the whole idea behind that getting on that show was to spread of the news of what can happen when you can take your health back. It doesn't even have to be through keto.
Yeah.
But we did try to demonstrate our eating lifestyle may give you an advantage. And you'll see that as the show goes on, especially when there's some vegans competing. But here's the thing, wherever we go, we try to represent keto. Now, if you scan that QR code, that you can win stuff, including a year's supply of Salty.
Yeah.
Because we do spread the news of keto everywhere we go. And even when we were on set, we were talking about and representing keto. We bring our salt with us. Rachel brought her keto brains. And obviously we brought Salty that people were getting dehydrated. We started handing out Salty. We found out the producer and director were also keto. And I'm like, you got to have this stuff. And then I reached out to Chris Bear and I said, hey, Chris, I know you want to expand beyond the keto space because everybody needs electrolytes and kids are drinking Gatorade. What do you think about partnering with them? And they decided that they would sponsor RV Unplugged
and it was
as well.
Being done in Lifetime, right? Because they were drinking a Gatorade, still felt like trash. We were like, try this. They instantly felt better. And they're like, okay. That's how simple it is, right? It's not I don't put out a soapbox. It's just you're sharing stuff with people.
Yep. So here's the thing.
Before we get started,
how good news is received and whether or not it produces results in the recipient is not up to you.
I am saved by grace, but if I am not, it is not the donkey's fault. He just brought Jesus into town, okay? So I think sometimes we needlessly burden ourselves with the fact that we not only have to bring this information to people, but we have to be plugging them in and carrying them through this and we feel like failures if they don't stick to it.
So let's get started on how we're going to do this.
Okay. What do you need to be a great donkey, Joe? Because that's enough of the naughty.
I like saying yes.
I know you do. But donkey.
Okay. So let's talk about donkeys. Did you know that donkeys need community?
Yeah. So this is tip number 1. If you've ever heard us speak before, a lot of times we will end on a note about community because community is so important. But fun fact, donkeys actually need a friend. They are not good as a solitary animal in the barnyard. It's actually vital to their health and well-being. And they will often pair up for life. It doesn't need to be another donkey, but they like to be with other equines like horses and mules and goats. And they will get very stressed if you take them out from their community.
So if you've ever seen us speak before, you know we normally end on community.
Yeah.
But we're going to start off at the beginning because community is super important. And the cool thing is that you guys are doing that right now.
We can test it.
But you don't have to just be spreading the good news to other people by sitting in this room right now. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so I've actually heard a couple people comment, like you'll see a lot of times I'm walking up and down through, deck 5 and stuff, and I have my lanyard on. It's actually for a reason. Some of it is so that you guys can recognize us, and I always encourage you guys, wear it. So because you're in community, let everyone say, hey, I'm with you guys. Come sit with me, right? But there's a cool thing about this lanyard. You have lanyard will travel. it sparks a conversation.
Maybe somebody's asked you, what the heck is all this? I see all you guys wearing this. Anybody had that? Somebody's just asked you a question about it? Yeah.
And it's funny because I was actually talking to Jonathan Shane the other day, and that how I want to get a tattoo of Ephesians 3:20 here on my arm. And I'm like, I don't know how I want to do it. And he showed me his back, and he put a scripture on his back in Greek. It's all in Greek. And I'm like, why? And he was like, because when I take my shirt off in the pool, and I watched it happen. It was so cool.
Like,
somebody walks up to it. What is that? It's a Greek, it's a scripture, but it's in Greek. But because it's in Greek, everybody asks.
Right.
And I'm like, that's awesome. So when I walk around and I wear my lanyard, what is that keto thing?
Yeah, it's that simple. Now, you may feel emboldened to go ahead and answer. Has anybody answered a question? Explain to somebody on this cruise a little tidbit about low carb or keto, right? Is that because you're suddenly, dun da da da, Captain Keto? You're going to start a YouTube channel when you get home because you're like, oh my gosh, it's just free flowing out of my mouth now.
No, you're just actively living in the community.
Yeah, every day you're having meals together, you're celebrating successes, you're sharing your story, you're staying positive, you're making all of these keto connections.
So let's talk about how do we stay super helpful? We can make a friend. We can text and call and Zoom people. We can attend meetups. You can become a member of our Mighty Networks group, members.2crazyketos.com. We spend most of our time in Mighty Networks because you don't get bombarded with Facebook ads and you don't have Facebook kicking you off because you use the word fat.
But it means
That's
butter.
why we're there. And it's free. Now, people do want to choose to support us there financially, but they don't have to. We built this entire community so that you can have someplace and go and talk to people. But remember something. You will feel alone if you are alone.
Yeah. I mean, it's normal I feel alone. Well, are you alone? Are you a participant? Are you joining Facebook groups or are you participating? Are you active member? And it's like, you can join our group. There's lots of support groups, but don't just be a wallflower, get involved. That's what you're doing here. You're engaging in people. When people ask you a question, you're not like.
Yep. It's harder to reach out to others when you feel disconnected. So you need to stay connected. And okay. I can't believe I'm going to admit I did this.
Uh-oh.
So years ago, I joined Planet Fitness. Anybody, how much does Planet Fitness cost?
Cheap.
How many people rarely look at their bank account and notice $10 coming out of it?
Sadly, yes.
I went 2.5 years with that $10 coming out of my account that I did not attend that gym.
I would pass by and be like, that's my gym,
and go,
guys.
look, I'm a member of that gym. Didn't help, right? So you can join our Mighty Networks group, but if you never get in there and make a post and make a friend and share your experiences, it doesn't help. You have to stay connected and stay engaged.
So what can I do next? Well, easy. Stick to the path.
So donkeys have excellent long-term memories, and they can remember places and people and routines for many years. They use that good memory to safely navigate through rough trials. And the new donkeys, they get to follow the herd.
Yeah, so a donkey a lot of times we think about an elephant having a great memory, but donkeys have a great memory. And so they know, okay, that's a pothole right there. Okay, move around there. They know they've got to go up that path. So sticking to the path ensures that new donkeys can enter into that trail. And I've got something, this is a fun fact you may not know, but actually on this entire trip, I've been a total ass. I have been an ass this entire cruise. How have we been an ass, Joe?
By staying keto.
That's it.
So we have a routine at home. Our routine at home is we lead all of our meals with meat. We enjoy vegetables for entertainment purposes only. We exclude sugar, and we limit our prepackaged food. We just maintained that same exact eating lifestyle here on the cruise.
That's all we did.
We still don't eat sugar. We still limit our prepackaged foods, and we still eat vegetables for entertainment purposes only.
The spinach, the cream spinach in the chops is very entertaining.
Now,
I found.
we have eaten more vegetables than we normally eat, but we still didn't eat sugar or white rice or potatoes or any of that stuff. we just ate more of the keto things that we would normally eat.
And now some of it, this has looked a little differently. I mean, I have had the same food. I've had a very different schedule though. It's been very different. And as we were discussing earlier, I have not had to wash the dishes after those things that I've consumed. So it's
kind of weird when you have a dirty
state.
dish and you just leave it on the table and walk away. Right?
Thanks for this. Now I know what our kids feel like.
I mean, they don't even have a place on the cruise for you to go put your plates. Like, we're upscale. Like, you don't have to go put it on top of the dumpster. They come and get it from you.
Yeah,
right?
It's just like kids. Thanks. Okay. Have a good day. I'm just going to leave this right here.
So here's the question. Are you easy to follow?
So if someone is just trying to follow your path and you're like, I'm staying on the path, is it easy to follow you? Because let's look at this sign right here.
Well, let's talk about my day one on the cruise.
Okay.
Day one on the cruise. Okay. So day one, we're coming on a vacation. Mm-hmm. I had an allergy attack.
Yes.
For those of you who have ever followed us, the only solution to an allergy attack for me is to go to sleep.
We could not do that. We need to get on the boat.
Couldn't go to sleep. Had to get on a boat. My nose is running. I've got a headache. My eyes are burning. It's also holiday, right? Memorial Day weekend. So I'm sick. We're on vacation. I'm super stressed because we're emceeing this and I got to worry about, oh, our stuff going to get on the boat. And we're leaving our children at home. And I'm also inspired. So I'm dealing with all that. So here's the thing. I'm on vacation. I'm going to go this way. And during the holidays, I go this way. And when I'm sick, I'm going to go this. Is this easy to follow?
Well, I like the sign is accurately named. Good luck. Good luck, anybody trying to find me.
You know, if I eat this when I'm sick and I eat this when I'm on vacation, well, which one do? I have all of them going on at the same time. And sometimes that's our lives. But here's the thing. The bricks of my daily consistency will build my lighthouse.
We all want to be a lighthouse for somebody. We want somebody to be able to look to us and be inspired and helped. But how do a lighthouse isn't just like magically appear. It's built. And it has to be made of stuff that could stand up to the salt and the winds and the waves. They don't have those inland, right? Those are on the coastline at like the first line of defense. What do you build a lighthouse out of? Bricks of consistency. And you are laying a brick of consistency every single day for those people in your life that you want to look to you, to come to you, to ask questions.
So I have a really tough question to ask you. And I want you guys to really think hard about this for yourselves in your own lives when we ask you this. Will your loved ones know where to find you when they are ready to give keto a try?
That's the thing. Because maybe if they need to go look, like I'm not sure what they're on right now or what they're doing or what's the protocol, they may be less likely to sit down and talk to you.
So we're on a ship right now.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Does the captain look for the lighthouse or does the lighthouse look for the captain? Right? Brings us to number 3.
Yeah. Okay. And this is a hard one, definitely a hard one for me. And that is, don't chase people.
Anybody use AI? It's kind of cool, right? Going, hey, I want a picture of this. Turns out we could not find a picture of a lighthouse chasing somebody.
Right. So we had to just build it because this is preposterous,
but
right?
This is what we do on keto. Right? You need keto, and you need keto, and hey, you weigh 400 pounds and have diabetes, so I'm going to tell you you're fat and you need to listen to me.
Right, or you're sick, you're sick, you need this, so I just run down after you. But the truth is, lighthouse don't chase ships. They stay still, and then that way the captains know where to look when they need one. I trust that the captain has not even had to go look for a lighthouse while we've been sailing.
Now we got computers.
Right? But I mean, we have smooth sailing.
That's right.
Right? It's been very smooth. So if everything is smooth, then I'm not looking for the captain. But when the waves start coming and I'm really ready, I need some help here. I know I need some help, and they've come to that conclusion for themselves, then they're going to look for you.
So we're going to be a lighthouse, but here's the thing. We're not going to chase them. We already discussed that because the bottom line is timing is everything.
Have you ever tried to potty train a child that's not quite ready yet?
I had this conversation. Kind of interesting when 2 men are sitting in a pool talking about how do I potty train my daughter?
Yeah.
So Jonathan comes up, and I've never had girls, right? So Jonathan comes up and he's like, I'm trying to potty train my daughter. We got another baby coming along and I need her potty trained before that baby shows up. And he was like, and she just wants to lift her dress up on the front. And I'm like, Jonathan, here's the answer. When she's ready, she's ready.
It was a week. I can remember when I finally, with our youngest son, just threw up my arms and was like, fine, if you want to wear like diapers to college, like that is fine with me. A week later, when he was ready, it was like, did I get a different kid? Is this a pod person right here?
No, you just became super mom.
Timing was everything though.
Yep.
Okay, so if you think that it is hard to potty train a child that's not ready, try cleaning out an adult's refrigerator when they're not ready. Try go into my pantry. I dare you if I'm not ready for that to happen.
So fun fact, we spent a month on the road picking up our new RV from Alliance RV. We get home, we conclude our trip with the most ridiculous expense. People say cruises are expensive. Go for 2 days to Fort Wilderness.
Yeah.
We're coming home from Fort Wilderness. We just spent 2 glorious nights with our 1.5-year-old grandbaby. And Caleb calls and he goes, I've got a surprise for you.
I helped.
And I'm sitting there going, I know whenever we leave the house, and I've proven this, nothing gets done. I literally left one time with a dish in the sink, and when we came home 3 weeks, the same exact dish was in the sink, right? And they're in their mid-20s. He goes, I cleaned the refrigerator for you.
I got rid of everything that smelled weird. There was this kimchi stuff. Definitely it has gone bad. Sauerkraut. Definitely it does not smell right. And I got rid of all of those things.
Made the decision that we don't need this shelf in here. Like, I have it all perfectly arranged the way I want it because it's my house.
He removed shelves
He
from
removed
the
shelves,
refrigerator.
left them on the counter and said, I don't like this one here. I'm like, but it's my house. And he's like, but I don't like it here. And I mean, he didn't throw out junk food because we don't keep junk food. Our rule with our adult children in the house is if you want junk food, go get a portable refrigerator, put it in your closet because I don't want to see it. It's fine. That's our rule. Not everybody operates that way. They have a shelf in the pantry. It's all the way on the bottom, so it's not at eye level of me. But it's still, he cleaned out a refrigerator for us, and I didn't want it, and he wasn't taking away my favorite foods.
Yeah.
So what is going to happen when you go take away somebody's Captain Crunch?
Yeah, you better wear a Kevlar vest.
So how do we actually do it? We just park ourselves in keto.
You park yourself there. Maybe like you're getting pictures taken as you go on excursions. We were at a beautiful place that had multiple excursions, one of which was like a petting zoo thing. And here's the thing, when I'm ready to get my picture taken with the donkey, I know where the donkey is. The donkey is always there in front of the barn, and there's like, it's a fenced in area. And so let's
relate this to cruising. When you get off a cruise at a port of call, there's one thing you can always guarantee. There will be a bunch of people selling you stuff when you get off the cruise.
Absolutely.
Right?
You don't have
They're
to go
always
looking.
going to be there.
They're always there.
The donkey's there. You just be there. Just be there.
Mm-hmm.
People want to see you live it, not just
keto. Everybody in my life needs some keto. If we're braying about it, but we're not really living it, then we're not going to be the lighthouse we want to be.
Okay, we have to live it out. I'm sorry to tell you, some of your friends, your family members, your coworkers have seen you try 100 different diets, and they figure this is just another one that you're going to quit in 2 months. So why should I bother listening to them? They're going to quit in 2 months. It's taken my mother 7 years. 7 years, and we have a YouTube channel with 60,000 subscribers.
Right.
7 years, you don't know what you're talking about. 7 years, nobody's going to listen to you. 7 years. It may take some time. So what's tip number 4?
Well, you need to be adaptable like a donkey. And maybe you never thought that a donkey is adaptable in any way.
So, good question. Shout it out. What word do you most associate with a donkey? Nuance. Thanks, Jonathan.
What do you say?
Stubborn.
Stubborn.
Right?
Poor
Stubborn
donkey.
as a mule. If your image of a donkey is a kicking, biting, immovable animal, then you're probably going to avoid them, aren't you?
Absolutely. But here's a fun fact. Here's the truth about these poor donkeys that have been called stubborn for no reason. Donkeys are actually being used more in therapeutic programs because of their gentle and calm nature, combined with their ability to form strong bonds with humans. Did you know how sweet they actually
what that sounds
are?
like? We actually have a pet horse.
Yeah.
Sounds like our Labrador.
That sounds like a Labrador. That's not a donkey. That has to be Tabitha.
That is a full-blooded Labrador that weighs 120 pounds and is not fat.
I had it DNA tested because I'm sure they sold us a horse.
No, that's dogs, right? But actually, donkeys are super approachable.
Yeah, super approachable. Now
Here's another hard question.
Ooh, this is a really tough question.
Jonathan thought he was ruffling feathers. Are you ready?
Okay.
Is the proper human diet community really approachable?
Are we approachable people? Or is there room for improvement?
Are we the person going, if you're not carnivore, you're not keto?
Yeah.
Are we the person that's going, if you're eating a seed oil, you're doing it wrong
Get
and you
out
might as
here.
well just quit?
Might as well not do it if you're not going to do it right.
Fun
Right.
fact, it took us 2 years to drop seed oils.
Oh, like this is scary stuff, because my problem is if we're not approachable, they're not going to come closer. I want my family, I want my friends to come closer so that I can embrace them, I can help them. But I can't help them if I'm being a foghorn instead of a lighthouse.
Dr. Berry coined the term proper human diet. I think it's the greatest term that I've heard anybody come up with in this space, because it's so many different things. It's keto, it's carnivore, it's low carb. The proper human diet could be paleo.
Yeah.
Okay? And the thing is that donkeys can thrive in different environments. That means we can too. As Jonathan just talked about, it's not a one for everybody. Okay? No. Everybody, Rachel may need to eat some sweet potatoes. I don't.
And I do want to save some heartache. Here's how we know that this can be problematic. Here's my mom, her before and after. Thank you. She made me.
Now, before you clap, her mom is the biggest mistake we ever made on keto.
Totally the worst way.
This is the only person that we ever forced on keto. We lost her dad. You can see what her mom, I don't even think this is her biggest picture.
No, it's not.
She was a type 2 diabetic for over 20 years. We lost her dad to a widowmaker heart attack and said, woman, you are doing this.
And I am so thankful and grateful that my relationship with my mother was able to recover from me sharing keto with her.
Because I can remember a conversation standing in our garage right after Rachel went and said, did you know that John Schneider is doing keto and has a YouTube channel and goes by the name Dr. Berry?
I totally thought he was John Schneider.
And we're sitting there explaining to her, this is what you're going to eat, right? Now you can't unsee it.
I can't unsee it.
Right? Everyone's going to go meet Dr. Berry and go, yeehaw!
Right.
I will never forget her stomping her feet going, if you think I'm going to go the rest of my life without having a piece of cake, you are sadly mistaken. I mean, this was a woman that would go to Costco, buy a cake as a type 2 diabetic, buy a cake, scrape all the icing off of it, eat the icing and throw the cake in the garbage, and then pop a pill because her glucose just shot through the roof. Okay?
No longer a type 2 diabetic, off of all of her medications, was able to, within 2 months of being diagnosed of having blockages in her heart, they wheeled her into the operating room, wheeled her right back. I said, did we not sign something? They said, no, we don't need to do surgery today. The blockages are all gone. So of course, she's had this amazing transformation. And so she wants to share. There's my mom on her 3-wheel bike. And it's
because we will not let her on a regular bicycle.
She cannot be trusted with a 2-wheeler, okay? She pops those wheelies. So her keto looks like a single lady and a very pampered dog doing keto. But she wants to share keto with her sister-in-law, who also lives with 2 50-year-olds and a 30-year-old, like a larger family. So you can understand that the way that my mom approaches meal prepping and like cooking methods is gonna be very different than the people that she wants to share with. That's understandable, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's us. I don't even think that's Rachel's biggest size either. I know we were over 300 pounds. Here's the thing, when I say we know we were over 300 pounds, We never stepped on a scale after we saw about 280, 290, because I never wanted to see the number 300. But I know I went up 5 sizes after I saw the 280. So I know I was probably about 330, 340. Here's us. People who didn't know I was actually in a wheelchair. I have several pins in my ankle. I shattered my ankle in 37 places in 1990 in a car accident. Spent 2 years on crutches and was told I would never walk again. I lost all the blood supply to the bone. 2 years later, I got healed. Doctor said, you can walk. I've never had physical therapy, but I do walk with a severe limp. But I then proceeded to spend 25 years on a drug called Arthritech, which is an arthritis medication, along with a daily refillable, automatically getting shipped to us prescription for Oxycontin and Vicodin. More than 25 years. I would take those drugs whenever I needed them because I don't like the feeling of being on a narcotic. So whenever I needed it, I would take it. Came home 6 months into keto, did not know anything about keto other than losing weight. Came home after 6 months. I did 5 football games. Rachel goes, do you want a painkiller? And I'm like, I haven't taken a pill in 6 months. Opened up the cabinet, we had over 1,000 pills in the cabinet because they were just getting put in there. I was never using them. So, of course, we want to share the news of keto with everybody. I get to walk. My doctor told me I needed an ankle replacement surgery. I haven't had it 7 years later. So we want to share this news with our children.
Right.
Here's our kids.
These are our kids. We've got 3 boys, John Paul, Caleb, and Anthony. And then there's our daughter-in-law, Michelle, and our granddaughter, the light of our life, Peyton. So
we all have different seasons and different needs, though. So here's us down on the bottom. We're raising chickens and making our own pemmican.
Okay, that's a niche. Okay, that is a group that is very, like, we do things a little differently. So then you also have our son, Caleb, to the far right. He is in college. He does not want to cook at all. Not a George Foreman grill.
He doesn't want to put something in the microwave.
Nothing, honey. Okay, so he doesn't want to do that. Then I have our son, Anthony. He is dating Sarah. They live in separate houses. They're working towards like getting married. And so they leverage restaurants a lot. Very different type of keto than what we would
Then
need
we
to
have
do.
John Paul and Michelle. John Paul is a master electrician with his own company. He works like 12-hour days. Michelle's at home taking care of a 1.5-year-old, which that's a full-time job. Any mom who says, I'm only a stay-at-home mom, that's
Stop that.
nonsense. Your job is harder than your husband's.
That's right.
Okay, I raised 2 boys on my own, I know. Their life looks very different. They need super, super easy, quick recipes to make.
So it's very different. So I can't come in and say, you need to do keto my way or you're not doing it correctly. In order for me to share which kid do I love the best, right? Like I've got to work with all of them. And here's another thing to consider, all right?
We all need a different form of keto.
Here's 2 Stauffer ladies. One of them is me and one of them is our granddaughter, Peyton. And
Which one's the carb addict?
Me. I cannot treat Peyton like she is a recovering carb addict just because I am. I can't. She's going to do different. I can't see her pick up a strawberry or pick up a piece of fruit like Jonathan was talking about, swat it out of her hand and say like, that's evil and wrong.
We put a video up on our channel of can you feed a 2-year-old keto at Disney World, which by the way, you can, and you don't see a meltdown like you see in other kids. She went 11 hours with a 20-minute nap and never had a meltdown.
I would like to say
she was eating carnivore bars, so I'm broke. It cost me more money than getting into Disney World.
Right.
But here's the thing. We put a video of her sitting and eating a cutie orange. And it was funny because she doesn't normally get that kind of stuff. It's a treat, like when she gets a piece of fruit. And you see her initial face is like, right? There were at least 15 hate comments that I had to literally, and I don't do this often, delete off of the video like, I cannot believe you're giving your granddaughter an orange.
Yeah.
She's 1.5 years old. Do you know what her first food was? Beef tallow and beef liver mixed with breast milk. We would take her to Brazilian restaurants, and this girl, like they're changing the policy at Rodizio Grill of free for kids, because she would literally take a piece of ribeye or prime rib, put it in her mouth and suck. She had no teeth. Suck it until it was leather. She sucked all the vitamins. Those were her first foods.
Yeah.
She never had baby formula. She never had baby food. She literally, by the time that she could actually use her gums, was eating beef.
Her food actually is going to be served as part of the soups options for tonight, just to let you know, like something to look forward to.
Okay,
But,
so we all started somewhere.
We all started somewhere, and we're thankful, not upset, when someone has a different starting point than us. 30 years of treating mental health. I rejoice when someone does not share my story and they have a different story. I don't want them to go through the same heartache. I don't need to spend a lot of time going, it's not fair that you get to eat some keto things that I don't get to eat. I rejoice with you right where you're at. I'm so excited that you get to do keto your way. And when I want to share keto with somebody else, I want to see, let's find what's going to customize for them and be successful for them.
So when you're a friend who's first getting started on keto,
You better hurry up, son.
no, we
good?
don't have a
Okay.
clock up there, but I'm watching.
I know, we should have one right here.
And when Debbie stands up,
Right.
Okay, so here's the thing. We want you to celebrate better decisions from people. Do not go to someone and go, listen, if you don't start off on day one as a carnivore who doesn't touch a seed oil and the only spice you're allowed to have is salt,
And Redmond salt.
and it's got to be Redmond salt, that's the wrong way to do it. Again, it took us 2 years to cut out seed oils. I know this is not popular. Seed oils has nothing to do with keto. If somebody is still consuming Hellmann's mayonnaise, but they're eating only meat, they're still keto. Now, is it a healthy oil? No. But seed oils are not healthy for anybody. It's got nothing to do with keto. But will it affect their level of ketosis? No. Will they have better reduced inflammation without them? Yes. It took us 2 years.
Yeah.
It took us another year and a half to stop spending 79 cents a dollar on dozen and buying fresh pasture-raised eggs. It's going to happen step by step, and allow that to happen.
How many people enjoyed hearing Nurse Cindy talk? Do you know that I'll never forget her first Facebook Live was because she had gone into a convenience store and realized when she exited there that she had not gotten like a cake, like a wrapped baked good, that she managed to get out of the 7-Eleven and only had gotten like a cup of coffee.
Yep.
That is victory. And so immediately realizing that, she went live, and the whole world, in my opinion, is blessed because she was willing to say, hey, I'm going to celebrate a better decision. So if somebody comes to you and says, you know what, instead of candy and a Slurpee, I walked out of 7-Eleven with a beef jerky that's got wonky ingredients in it and some boiled eggs that's
Celebrate it.
Celebrate
Okay?
it.
Don't let perfect rob good. None of us are perfect. There's one perfect person that's ever walked in the face of this earth, and he rode into the town on an ass.
Right.
Okay? That's the bottom line. None of us are perfect. Stop trying to clean the fish before you get it in the boat. I'm a scuba diver. I like to go spear fishing. You know what happens if I try to clean the fish while he's still underwater? Sharks will chase me.
Right. Or worse, the worst thing is if you've ever like descaled a fish, you caught the fish, and I mean, it's this big, but really maybe it's this big,
Everything is 10 times bigger.
That's right. That's what she said. What happens when you take the scales off? Slippery.
Okay, so is there anything else? We only have like 4 minutes left, right?
Yes.
Is there anything else? Yes. Tip number 5, while you wait to help your family, please help somebody else's.
I know that our desire is to help the ones closest to us first. But while we're waiting, why don't we look around and see who's ready right now? They've got that look on their face. Maybe there's somebody that's going to talk to you at dinner, or they're going to talk to you, in the wind gym. They're going to ask questions. Reach out to them now.
Yep. So look at this picture.
This is somebody's kid. Get it? Because it's like a go. All right?
Okay. You know what else? These are somebody's kids.
Somebody's kids.
There's a lot of the people. This was a meetup we did in January in Orlando. There's a lot of these people are standing in this room right now, or sitting in this room right now. Okay? But you know what? We talked about our children. John Paul and Michelle are eating a ketogenic lifestyle. If it wasn't for members of this community, actually some people in this picture,
That's right.
Our kids wouldn't be keto because they won't listen to us. We've preached keto for 7 years. They wanted nothing to do with it. But you see these pictures, they're taken in Universal Studios. Those people preached into our children's lives, and they listened to them.
Not
And
us.
because of these people, and also another person, Jonathan Shane, who is coaching our daughter Michelle, and Crystal Sykes, who coached her through her entire pregnancy to avoid any kind of miscarriage. Because of these people, we have this.
Yeah.
If it wasn't, I truly believe that God put those people into my daughter and my son's life. And if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have a granddaughter. I truly believe that. So real quick to finish this up, in ancient times, a king riding a donkey symbolized humility and peace as opposed to riding on a horse, which was associated with war and conquest. Jesus' choice to ride a donkey conveyed his humility and peaceful intentions.
So be an ass. And how do you do that? Be available, serve others, stay calm, and keto on.
So Low Carb Cruise 2025, there's also Keto Palooza to be in community. And if you can't wait, we're actually having a community cruise with no speakers in December.